Hello everyone and welcome to another Star Wars figure review. Today we're going to take a look at some more characters from Star Wars The Force Awakens, and in this review we're going to take a look at the Black Series 6-inch action figure duo of Rey, the Desert Scavenger, and of course her droid counterpart BB-8. This is a very cool action figure set, although it does come with its fair share of pros and cons. What this figure does succeed in, however, is bringing us a very cool version of BB-8 that I cannot wait to show you in more detail. But the Rey figure leaves a little bit to be desired and a bit of a sour taste in the mouth. So we'll talk about all the pros and cons of these figures in just a little bit. But before we do, as always, let's take a look at the packaging that they come in. Once again, we get the standard third phase design for the Black Series 6-inch line. We've got the Star Wars The Black Series logo at the top, accompanied by some very cool artwork of both Rey and BB-8 at the bottom. On the reverse side of the box, we have a brief description of the characters, and as you can see, Rey and BB-8 are number 2 in the Black Series 6-inch line. As I mentioned in a previous review, I am sort of mixing up the order of these reviews. I'm not doing wave 1 followed by wave 2. I'm mixing and matching the waves just because there are some better figures from each wave, and I want to save the best till last. So there is the packaging for these figures. Now let's take a look at what we get inside. Now I'll kick things off by taking a look at BB-8, as in my opinion this is the real highlight of the set. The figure itself is absolutely awesome. I'm really impressed with the way that Hasbro have handled this figure, and to say that this figure, despite only featuring a couple of points of articulation, is vastly better than the Rey figure that's included in this set as well, you know, it just goes to show how well Hasbro handle droids and robots and troopers and all that sort of stuff, but they just fail in some aspects with regards to human figures. That's not to say the Rey figure is terrible, but it just, as I said, leaves a little bit to be desired. This BB-8 figure, however, is very cool, and I've got to say I am at a little bit of war with myself as to whether or not I prefer this version of BB-8 or the Disney Store Elite Series diecast figure. I think what I prefer about the Elite Series figure is the fact that the scale is a little bit more accurate. The Elite Series figure is much bigger than this one, whereas this one is quite small. But I've got to hand it to Hasbro. They really knocked articulation and detail out of the park on this one. In addition to the really nice deco that BB-8 already has, he also comes, or she also comes, I'm really not sure what gender BB-8 is at this point, but I'm sure we'll find out very soon. Some very cool weathering. As you can see on those panels on the head, you've got this really nice black dirty wash which really highlights some of those panels and makes some of those details stand out, and the head itself is just really well sculpted. So I'm very impressed with the figure with regards to detail. You've got this really cool shiny black optical lens at the front there, and again all those panels and details that just stand out really well. On the main ball section of BB-8, once again we have some of those orange and silver highlights on the panels, and a slightly more subtle black wash to weather the figure. Now in terms of articulation, BB-8 is far superior to the Disney Store Elite Series figure. Rather than a swivel on the top of the head, we do get a couple of ball joints on this one. Now obviously in the film BB-8 rolls around while the head attaches to the body via a magnet. Obviously Hasbro couldn't do this, it would have cost way too much money, but what we do get with this one is not only a Weeble effect in the main body, so that there is no real weight to this one, so he doesn't tipple over or anything like that, but we also get a great range of movement in the head itself, which as you can see is on a couple of ball joints. We get one in the head and one in the body, and both are connected via a rod, which just allow so much movement in the head. As you can see, it rolls around really well, really fluently, and just looks amazing. Again, far superior to what Disney gave us in the Elite Series range. So BB-8, definitely the highlight of this set. I'm very impressed with the figure, and this is obviously the key highlight of this set. I think more people are picking up this particular figure for BB-8 rather than they are Rey, which isn't a testament really to the character. I'm sure that Rey will be awesome in the film. I just think Hasbro have, you know, not done as well with the figure as they maybe could have done. So with BB-8 pretty much covered, let's talk about Rey. As I said, this figure isn't fantastic. What I don't like about this figure right off the bat is the head sculpt. It just looks awful. it's really, really off. I'm not entirely sure what it is. The jaw is very square. The feminine features just aren't all that feminine. You know, nothing against Daisy Ridley, the actress who plays her, but this figure's head sculpt is just not accurate to her likeness at all. There's way too much pink blusher on the cheeks, which looks a little bit ridiculous. And the paint applications on the head itself are just very sloppy. Not very taken with this one at all, really. It doesn't score any major points in my book. So in many ways, the Disney Store Elite Series figure really captured the likeness much better for this character. What Hasbro have done successfully, however, is capture the very unique hairstyle that Rey has. As you can see, she's got those buns tied up at the back of the head with the strands of hair coming down the cheeks. As you can see, the outfit itself is sculpted reasonably well. What this figure does lose a few points on as well is the lack of accessories. With this figure we just get the familiar quarterstaff that Rey comes with. There is no sign of a backpack or a blaster pistol that we saw with the Elite Series figure. And even with the 3 3/4 inch Build-A-Weapon figure we got a backpack. So why we didn't get one with this 6-inch figure is a little bit of a mystery, and it does knock a few points off the overall figure itself. Articulation is top notch, however. We do get a ball joint and a hinge at the neck, so again she's got a wide range of movement there. Hinges at the shoulders, elbows and wrists, a ball joint at the torso, hinges at the hips, knees and ankles as well. So super articulation, and for the most part, you know, from a distance and once she's in a decent pose, this is a good figure. It's just up close, ooh, that head sculpt is awful. So it does lose a few points for the head sculpt. The lack of accessories bring it down a few pegs as well. But obviously, being a core character from the new movie, and if you're a collector rather of the 6-inch line, this is a must-have figure. But as I said, if you're picking this up for one reason only, make it BB-8, because this one is awesome. Can't recommend this figure enough. So I hope you found this review useful. If you want to check out my review on the Elite Series version of Rey from the Disney Store, then it should pop up on screen for you at some point as I wave my finger magically, and you can, you know, draw some comparisons to these two figures. So I hope you found this review useful, and I'll be back with many more very soon. So until then, as always, thank you for watching, keep collecting, and may the Force be with you.